Hey folks, quick rant here on politics, voting. I just got done early voting. Go get it done ASAP if you can. Election day could be madness, could be hours of waiting in line. The most important election of our lifetimes. One of the smartest men in the world, Elon Musk, says that. I think we could take his word for that. But here's the thing. Well, at the local level, if you don't know the candidates, just because there's a box and it's telling you to select one doesn't mean you have to select one. Let the people decide that are educated on those candidates make the choice. Real important. Because if you're just doing straight line voting, that's some ignorant ass way of thinking, and frankly, you're not a critical thinker as much as you want to believe you are. Voting straight party lines is just nonsense. The left has lost their damn minds. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for censorship, big corporations, and control of your life. It's no mistake that when you look at food labels in the US versus food labels in Europe, we are a massive list of chemicals that are in our foods that don't need to be in there. And they're there for one reason: profit. Because they're going to profit on that food. It's either cheaper to make that way, or they're going to get you sick because the major corporations or investment companies that own parts of these little companies, they're going to make money on the food that they sell you and the medicine that they sell you to make you feel better from the food that got you sick. Doesn't need to be there. The left has been taken over by these corporations. The left is the puppet of major corporations and whatever they want. They use topics like abortion to divide us. And yeah, that's a hot topic. It's a very emotionally charged topic. And you know what? That's by design. There's a reason that they pull those heartstrings on you. They want you divided, they want you arguing, they want you fighting, because a divided country is easy to control. A united country is not. So stop playing into their games. There will be time to fight for the abortion topic. And you can still get abortions wherever. Like, there's ways of getting it done if you're in a state that has restrictions or has stupid rules. And I don't believe in it. I wouldn't do it. But I believe in pro-choice. Because I believe in the choice to give yourself the jab, to do what you want with your body. You want to be trans, be trans. I don't care, but don't run and ram it down my throat or my kids' throat. If I had kids, I don't have kids, but if I had kids, don't ram it down my kids' throats. Again, this is freedom. This is what it comes down to. It's freedom. Let's talk about our founding fathers real quick. First Amendment. No, actually, before we can get to that, founding fathers were the smartest men, way smarter than we are today. And don't kid yourself and think, oh, I'm smarter than them, technology makes us better. Nah, no way. They didn't have technology, they didn't have TV, they didn't have movies, they didn't have Instagram and stupid BS to distract you and to make you just, make you numb and dull and frankly just non-educated. They sat around, they debated, they read, they're philosophers, and they were coming from a tyrannical government, the Brits, and they were tired of not having a voice and being controlled. They wanted freedom. And the US is this massive experiment, and right now unfortunately it's going sideways, but because it's being pulled back to dictatorship or Marxism, communism, one group that controls everything. The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games. Quite literally. That's the direction that we're heading. If you've never been to a communist country, you're uneducated on the topic. You don't know. I've been to China. I've been to Romania, former communist country, and I had the most fascinating meeting there with a plant manager and a dinner with him, and we got to talking about the old ways. And he told me that when he was a kid, his whole family would pull all their money together, aunts, uncles, parents, everybody, just to buy one loaf of bread. He would go stand in line for hours to try to get one loaf of bread. Now that it's not a communist country anymore, you know what happens with his kids? They argue over what cell phone they're gonna have. And he chuckles. He's like, I don't know how we fell for it. It sounds great. The equality, everything even and equal. And at the end of the day, there's nothing. You just have these leaders that puppet everybody else. And frankly, if you believe in Marxism, socialism, communism, you're lazy. You need to wake up, pick up a history book, go visit a communist country, go visit Venezuela, see how great they're doing. Go visit China, go visit Romania, been to Hungary also. Experience it, talk to the locals, really find out, really do your homework, and you're gonna find out it's not something that you want. Capitalism is pretty amazing if you're willing to work. Even if you don't want to work, it's still, you get all the byproducts of it, which is still pretty amazing. Because nobody wins except those top elitists in socialism and capitalism. Stop kidding yourself. Okay, so going back to the Founding Fathers. They created the Constitution, the First Amendment, freedom of speech. The most important, that's why it's number one. Number two, the right to bear arms. It's not for hunting. It says in there, in case of a tyrannical government, which is where we're pretty close to having right now. Very close, especially if the left wins. The left and the right will use guns as a topic, again, just like abortion, to create divide. I mean, come on. Let's be really realistic here for a second. And this stuff has happened, and the news conveniently doesn't report on it. Mass stabbings. People getting plowed over at big social functions by a vehicle. People will find a way. It's not the gun, it's the mental health. And I'll blame Reagan for this one. I was educated on this a few years ago and I didn't realize it. Reagan canceled the funding for insane asylums. This is, I think, back in the 80s, at a national level. And he said the states need to be responsible for each of their states, and then their hospitals that were within their states. And the states didn't want to pay for it, so they got rid of insane asylums. So you have now today a lot of crazy people out there that have had babies with other crazy people. And we have a huge mental health issue in this country. It's not the tool. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Back to abortion. Again, they use it as a divider for us. There's a happy medium in there that could easily be reached. Late-term abortion, honestly, if you're doing a late-term abortion, you probably one of those mental health people. That's pretty fucked up. But at the same time, there are incidences and cases where it's necessary, because something has happened and this should not happen, whether it be rape, whether it be illness that puts the mother at jeopardy. That needs to be allowed. Again, there's a happy medium. Pro-choice, because I believe you should be able to do what you want with your body. And again, if we can table those emotional topics for just a minute and focus on what this country really needs right now, it is a good economy. And we need to stop the wars. We had great economy under Trump. Food was cheap, gas was cheap, business was good, and everything is in the pits now. And it's only going to get worse. And especially when you have somebody like Kamala Harris who's talking about price controls. That hasn't worked in any country, and it's only used in, again, communist countries, and everything goes sideways when you start trying to do price controls. Stop it. Again, it's like table the emotional topics and think about what's the best for the country and not what tugs at your heartstrings. Can we table the heartstring topic for just a minute? It's like, come on. Like, let's do what's right. People are out there dying because, frankly, major corporations, the left, the politicians that are living in multi-million-dollar mansions on $200,000 a year salaries, that's not an accident. That's because, again, they get all these funds from their campaigns and they get set aside. Anyway, there's so much BS out there that politicians are doing, and they use these topics to divide us, and it's bullshit. And you need to wake up. You need to start being a critical thinker. And that's why they hate Trump so much. When he got elected last time, orange man bad, orange man bad. That's all you heard on the news. That's it, because he was not a part of their system. He wasn't vetted. He wasn't ushered in as this is going to be our guy. It was frankly an accident that he got elected. And they hate it because he is a fish swimming upstream. And they are taking money out of these major corporations' pockets, and these major corporations do not have your best interest in mind. They want war. It feeds the war machine that makes them a ton of money, and it just needs to stop. People are dying. There was no additional wars added when Trump was in office. There was more peace treaties that happened when Trump was in office. And we've had nothing but the complete and utter opposite of that. And you let the mainstream media tell you that orange man bad, orange man bad. And you're like, okay, orange man bad, orange man bad. Yeah, mainstream media says it, so it must be true. Yeah. Stop it. Think for yourself. Look at what's going on out there. Pick up a history book. History was so boring to me in high school. Oh my God, I don't know how I got through it. But today it's fascinating because we can see history repeating itself. And we're just playing right into it because, again, they want us divided and dumb. A united nation is very hard to control. A divided nation is very easy for them to control. Stop playing into their games. There's a reason that RFK jumped on board with Trump. There's a reason that Elon Musk jumped on board with Trump. Tulsi Gabbard jumped on board with Trump. All former Democrats. Because the dynamic shifted a long time ago. And if you're still like voting based on my parents voted that way, so I'm going to vote that way, and mainstream media tells me to vote that way, you're not paying attention to what's going on out there. You need to think for yourself. You need to try a little harder, and just please do what's right for the country. If we lose if we get the left in, censorship goes to the maximum. You lose your freedom of speech. And imagine this, the right gets in someday. They want to force the whole topic of abortion, no abortion, no abortion. But now you can't voice it because now the controls are in place for censorship. The free speech is gone. It can go either way. That's why our founding fathers were so smart. Because they could see how this could play out. They debated it. They talked about it. They sat around in pubs and they discussed it. Well, this happened and this happened. Because again, they didn't have social media. They didn't have movies to distract them. They didn't have all these lively music and music festivals to go to and what makes us all happy and frankly ignorant compared to what our founding fathers were. They were brilliant. Think about that. I hope you make the right choice. I hope you table the emotional topics and just do what's right. Focus on the economy this go. Maybe we can get RFK in next go. But let's make America healthy again. Man, I mean, RFK was he was really kind of what I was wanting to go for, but the economy is more important right now, and I think Trump can get us there. I know he can get us there. Because that arrogant ass, he's arrogant, fucking diarrhea of the mouth ass. That ego will not lose. He will make it happen. Just like if you get sick, you want the best arrogant ass doctor you can find, because he wins. He gets it right. He's gonna make it happen. I want the arrogant ass. Food for thought. Gone way longer than I thought. Happy voting.